What makes Kirby Air Ride unique? Like many popular franchises, Kirby has had his fair share of spin-off titles. Whereas some spin-offs can become mini franchises of their own, Kirby only needed one standout racing game in his portfolio: Kirby Air Ride. Released in 2003, Kirby Air Ride finally uses Kirby's favorite form of intergalactic transportation, the Warp Star, as the vehicle of choice in this colorful kart racer. Managing to sell over 1 million copies worldwide, Kirby Air Ride became a cult GameCube classic. Many fans have dreamt of a sequel, or at least a re-release, but much like other popular GameCube racers, Kirby Air Ride remains trapped in history, leaving many to reminisce about its beautifully simple gameplay. What makes Kirby Air Ride unique is how it has easy-to-learn, hard-to-master gameplay that manages to capture the essence of Kirby, as well as being a fresh racing and even party experience. Kirby Air Ride as a racing game is very different, but not in any complex fashion. These flying machines automatically accelerate, leaving only the need to steer and brake. With just a joystick and the A button, players have very few controls to worry about. Within braking alone, Kirby puts himself on the ground, allowing him to hit boost pads, drift, and even charge his boost meter. The A button also activates Kirby's famous inhale and copy abilities. It may almost seem too simple, but because of its straightforward appearance, the controls actually require precision in order to achieve fast lap times and other desirable outcomes. Being able to drift around turns properly and timing when to press A on the boost pads to get their full benefit does take practice. Even trying to inhale enemies can be cumbersome when multiple enemies are bunched together. Using copy abilities also uses the A button, which can lead to a mental conflict. If a player is holding an attack ready while approaching a sharp turn, pressing the A button to drift also activates the attack. Braking has so many functions in the game that it requires proper planning. Considering this is the Warp Star, there are multiple flying sections throughout levels. While in the air, Kirby gains suitable plane-like controls, and sometimes they can prove to be very finicky. There's even a multitude of stars to pick from, all with varying strengths, weaknesses, and special traits. Some need to brake to turn, others control better in the air, and some require charging up before blasting off at full speed. There's also a variety of game modes that change how players need to think and strategize. Air Ride is the base game mode, Top Ride gives a more arcade experience, and City Trial is a free-roaming world-based game. Kirby Air Ride has a lot of depth in its gameplay. It is something so easy that anyone can play it, but mastering each track and even staying competitive proves challenging. It's a huge reason as to how the game held up so well as a kart racer, but one of the single greatest and most revolutionary parts of the game is the checklist. Throughout the game, players can fill out a checklist of self-imposed challenges in order to unlock new vehicles, tracks, and even songs in the sound test menu. Although it could just be something small, the satisfaction of finishing a lap with a good time or taking out all the racers is fulfilling on its own. This paved the way for the achievement concept seen in today's gaming market. Although games today usually have no more than 100 achievements maybe, Kirby Air Ride has 360, 120 for each mode. This gives incentive for players to return again and again to fill out these huge lists, and with each challenge completed comes grayed out squares that detail even more challenges to complete. Kirby Air Ride does something that very few racing games tend to bring: longevity. It becomes quite the time sink to complete the insane amount of challenges, especially since some require lots of practice and trial and error. With all this going into it, Kirby Air Ride brings something for everyone. The Kirby game ideology of easy to learn, hard to master being adapted into a racing format is to be expected, but with so many challenges to complete, cards to try out, and 3 completely different game modes, it proves to be a fantastic portrayal of Kirby in a racing setting, and holds up so well that it doesn't really need a sequel. That is what makes Kirby Air Ride unique. But there's something else that needs to be discussed. What makes City Trial unique? Anyone who has played Kirby Air Ride will tell others that City Trial is the single greatest mode in the game. Air Ride and Top Ride are fun and play perfectly fine, but City Trial is loved on a whole other level. The premise is simple. Up to 4 players are dropped into the city on a weakened version of the Warp Star. Players must scour the city for other Warp Stars and items that power up their star's attributes. At the end, the 4 players must use their souped up vehicle in a final challenge. This could be gliding as far as possible, defeating the most enemies, or just the basic one-lap race. This concept was later brought to Smash for 3DS in the Smash Run mode, but it didn't catch on. That's because City Trial focused on keeping the world small enough for players to interact with each other. With power-ups, vehicles, and the legendary Dragoon and Hydra to fight over, it's easy to turn on opponents and try to destroy them out of spite. And although it may seem like a waste of time to try and wreck your opponents, City Trial also balances the variety of strategies players may have. If someone wants to go on a merciless reign of destruction, it does slow down other players to have to find a new star after it explodes. Going for high stats can be viable, but with a potentially unknown challenge on the horizon, players don't know which stat to focus on, and if the challenge is hinted at, the sudden surge of excitement to find a new machine or specific power-up becomes a frantic search around the city. Even building the legendary machines proves risky, as it could be the start of a bloodbath, but whoever builds this machine can easily win the upcoming challenge. The stat boosts are also noticeably beneficial. As little as 2 of the same power-up gives a noticeable enhancement to a vehicle's controls, making it fun to see how powerful these warp stars can become. When a player's star is destroyed, it can be heart-wrenching, but that's the excitement of City Trial. It can lead to some of the fondest memories. The time a friend stole the last piece of the Dragoon, leading to a fight to the death all over the city, to the time a friend had obscenely high stats, and the challenge didn't even require said stat. Smash Run lost focus and just turned into lots of running around and frustration as cheap deaths were common. When it's just 4 players in the open world, the game plays out as both simple casual fun that can suddenly escalate into a free-for-all. Be it trying to ride that one ship that would help in the challenge, or to tear down someone who seems a little too far ahead for their own good, the competition has so much variety. With wacky challenges thrown into the mix, this game mode alone has eaten hours away from many players, and it's because every round is different, making for an amazing party experience only found in Kirby Air Ride. And that is what makes City Trial unique. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button, and if you'd like to see more videos that discuss what makes any video game stand out, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.